I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel.
It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Nothing like hitting the wrong button first thing here on a Monday morning. Welcome to the Willpower Chair Scoot Around Monday Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 16th day of January, 2023. All right. Headlines this morning: 200 evacuated after a fire ignites on a ferry in Italy. Liberty of the Seas rescues 17. A slight little update on weekend weather issues. And everybody by now has seen the story on NCL's Entertainment Cuts. I've got some thoughts on that. And finally this morning, Margaritaville at Sea partners with Tipsy Scoop. I didn't know what Tipsy Scoop was. We're going to talk about that and a lot more here this morning, live at 11 o'clock. Today, folks, is International Hot and Spicy Food Day. Now, I admit to a certain degree, I'm a little bit sissy compared to some of you out there. But I still like things a little hot and spicy. As a matter of fact, Amanda, I believe, that's my niece, was planning on maybe fixing us Thai food again, which has got a little spice to it. She had that fixed some Thai food last week, and it was really good. So I would be happy with that tonight. If you're listening via the podcast, you're always welcome, of course. You can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. All the big hitters: Stitcher, Podchaser, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. If you are listening via the podcast and want to hop over to check out any pictures or clips we may be using on today's show, there's always a link in the description of the podcast to do just that. All right. Couple of things this morning before we actually get to the news. I just concluded literally about 10 minutes ago a live stream with Pete and Justin on the Passions for Cruises USA Solos. There we go, if I can get it all out. Solo cruise that's coming up on May the 1st. The prices are out. The inside cabin is $1,679. Now, keep in mind, this is a 12-day, 11-night cruise. That also includes the drinks package, all taxes and port charges, with the exception of the gratuities on the drinks package, which you have to take care of yourself. So I looked at it at, $1,600, you take off $60 a day drinks package, that's like $660, a couple $100 for taxes and port charges. Actually, it's probably a little more than that on this long a cruise with this many ports. But still, so there's, $700, $900 that you take off of that total price to give you your base price of the cruise. You're down to a solo cabin for a 12-day, 11-night cruise at about $750, $800. That's a bargain. The sea view cabins are $2,094. The balconies are only $2,166. Somebody on the live stream checked it and said if you go directly through Norwegian as a solo for the balcony, it was over $3,000. So it is, we have a limited number of cabins. The bookings are open now. I'll put the phone numbers down in the description of the show today. But it's toll-free numbers 866-312-2314. And it's with Viva Voyages, who is the Passion for Cruises USA Solos partner. They're actually the booking agent here in the States. If you call that number, they're going to answer it. Passions for Cruises. That's what they do. So if you have any questions about it, they can answer all those questions. I'll post the numbers in the description of today's show. And you'll be hearing a lot about it before it's over with. And of course, Justin, Mr. Bucket List, and I are going to be hosting it. And we'll be doing things like, a morning meet and greet when we first get on the ship, morning coffee meetups, a quiz team, getting together to do some of the crazy things like riding the go-karts. And some of you can do the tubes that they don't let the fat man get in. Yeah, that's fun. Anyway, it's going to be a fun time. So that's for the solo guys. All right, now, a couple things. I talked to Elizabeth down there in Sydney, Australia, and she sent a clip from the area near where she lives.
Hey guys, it's Eli on location. I am here in this beautiful park at Rushcutter Bay, which is about a 7-minute walk from where I'm living at the moment. And I thought I'd come down here on a Sunday morning and sit and get some sun. What a beautiful day. Look at this tree. Amazing. And I'm in a really quiet neighborhood here. You can see look at that house, man. Really cool, yeah? And lots of really interesting big homes here. That one's under construction, as you can see. Anyway, it's a big park, and there are like loads of people who walk their dogs here. I've been here for about 4 hours since earlier this morning, and people just come out here with their dogs on no leash, mind you. And like everybody has big dogs here. Once in a while, we'll see a few small dogs, but it's like big dogs. It's like big dog, Texas-sized dogs. I don't know what the hell that's all about, but anyway. Look, there's the Harbor Bridge, and if you look over there in the distance, like right there is the tip of the Opera House. So anyway, I work right across from that building right over there. So anyway, it looks like it's far from the bridge, but actually it isn't. It's like right there at the Circular Quay. Anyway, it's a beautiful day, as you can see. Blue sky, gorgeous. Anyway, it's Sunday here, which means it's Saturday there. Hope you're all having a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody. Happy weekend.
All right, that, of course, is Elizabeth on location down in Sydney, Australia. Now, some of you remember when I've showed you pictures before of the cockatoo that started visiting her balcony. Well, she couldn't stand it, so she started feeding the cockatoo. And the cockatoo basically said, "Hey, guys, I got a sucker here." So the cockatoos expanded. And, of course, she couldn't feed one and not feed the other two, so she started feeding all three. And, of course, the next day they brought another friend, and then another friend. So she has a whole gang of cockatoos now that she feeds. But the funny one was over the weekend, one of the cockatoos went out on the town and got drunk as a skunk, and probably in some kind of a brawl, at the cockatoo bar. And this is what he looked like when he didn't want breakfast. He wanted coffee. He says, "Oh my God, I need coffee." A hungover cockatoo. That's the truth, and I'm sticking with it. All right, a couple things from some of our friends. What's this? That's Katie and Angela on board their ship. And that's Angela. What happened to Katie's picture? Hold on. Katie's picture disappeared on me. Let me load that up real quick. So it'll take me a half a second. It's spinning around loading. There we go. There's Katie. Of course, they were on a quickie little weekend cruise, which that's okay. And then, let's see. Kenneth and Robin are on the Carnival Sunrise. Is that from them? Oh, no, that's Angela again. What's she doing way up there? All right. Kenneth and Robin are on the Carnival Sunrise. They had some strawberries. They went to the Fahrenheit 555 Steakhouse the first night, and Kenneth had a 18-ounce strip steak, and Robin has had the filet, and that filet looks yummy to me. It looks huge. Of course, that's butterflied. But they other than it's very crowded, the Carnival Sunrise has been good for them so far. So let's see. Do I have anything else loaded up? Birds? No. Okay. All right. So I'll be back with today's news after a quick break from one of our network sponsors. All right, we're going to start off today over in Italy. 200 people were evacuated after a fire ignited on the GNV La Superba ferry in Palermo. The ferry, owned by shipowner Grandi Navi Veloci, suffered significant damage. At the time of the incident, the ship was at the quay in the port of Palermo, Sicily. GNV La Superba ferry has a capacity of 2,900 passengers and operates between Palermo and Naples. The vessel had arrived the day before in the Sicilian port. The fire broke out on the car deck, and the 180 passengers on board were immediately evacuated, as was the crew. The operations to extinguish the fire lasted several hours. A dozen trucks, 34 firefighters, and teams from Porta Italia, the concessionaire of the port's container terminal, fought the blaze. In a statement, GNV said that the crisis unit, permanently connected via the operations center, had also coordinated all other functions of the company to ensure maximum assistance to passengers affected by the incident. So it ended up a good conclusion from a rather rough start. All right, the Liberty of the Seas and this is kind of a joint story. Liberty of the Seas rescued 17 Cuban migrants after they were spotted in a small makeshift boat this weekend. Liberty of the Seas was headed for Coco Cay in the Bahamas when the captain spotted the vessel that had been at sea for weeks. Now, this was on a 3-night round trip Bahamas perfect day voyage from Fort Lauderdale and was scheduled to dock in Coco Cay on Saturday. But the ship stayed at sea after encountering rough ocean conditions with that storm, which we're going to talk about in a second. According to the statement from Royal Caribbean, while en route to the Bahamas, Liberty of the Seas encountered a small vessel adrift and in need of assistance. The crew had immediately launched a rescue operation, safely bringing 17 people on board. They were given food and medical attention. The crew was working with the United States Coast Guard. Well, the thing that's interesting about that, they weren't in the Bahamas. They weren't going into Coco Cay, Coco Cay. I say it Key. They say it K. Anyway, Coco Cay. But they were sailing around to avoid the storm, which means that it pushed them back toward Cuba, is where they ran into these guys. So it was really a rough weekend in the Bahamas on cruise ships. Several cruise ships were scheduled to make calls in the Bahamas on the weekend that got canceled, delayed, or, just totally forgotten. Scarlet Lady, supposed to be at Bimini, Brilliance of the Seas at Freeport, Disney Dream at Castaway Cay, Carnival Freedom at Princess Cay, Carnival Sunshine, Carnival Liberty, Carnival Wish, Freedom of the Seas, Mariner of the Seas, Norwegian Pearl, and Norwegian Encore, all in Nassau. In Nassau, the temperatures were not expected to exceed the mid-60s, with gusting winds up to 42 miles an hour. All of these ships could be impacted by the storm system, so ships basically went to sea, like they do in hurricanes. Also, ships that may have been affected yesterday was Carnival Conquest, Disney Wish, Freedom of the Seas, several others. So every one of those ships had something changed or canceled through the weekend because of the weather conditions. And still at sea, it was pretty rough sailing. So not a good weekend for a busy part. This is the highlight of the season for many of those areas. All right, by now all of you heard about Norwegian. After laying off 9% of the shoreside employees, reducing housekeeping services, eliminating onboard positions, and taking away staff members' privileges, Norwegian Cruise Line is taking another drastic step to cut down costs. This time, the company is targeting the entertainment department by eliminating expensive production shows and laying off cast members and entertainment staff. Cast members of the popular show Kinky Booths aboard the Encore said they have been laid off and sent home in the middle of their contracts. NCL has decided that Kinky Boots is too expensive to produce on board and will be removing it from Encore this weekend, thus ending the contract 3 months early. All of the cast and musicians were completely caught by surprise with this announcement. Several of the musicians affected by this have already received offers to future work, which is appreciated. I definitely feel that the cast members who have to adjust accommodations and try to find future work. It's not particularly fair to them. Not the nicest thing to happen just in the Christmas season. But anyway, some of the entertainment staff were on vacation at the time. They got a letter when they were at home that their services are no longer needed. Don't come back. So one of the staff members received an email. Just got an email from NCL. They said, notifying me prior the time I have to sign on in 2 days. I packed and even said my goodbyes to everyone, and they just fired me through an email. This is ridiculous. The email sent to the cruise member states, after bringing our entire fleet back into service, we've reached the time where we transition from operating to relaunch mode to a steadier state of operations. As part of this transition, Norwegian Cruise Line is adjusting its shipboard entertainment operations. We regret to inform you that the decision has been made to reduce our entertainment department manning across all vessels, and as a result, your scheduled assignment has been canceled and your services no longer required. Now, who knows what Norwegian's going to say publicly about this? They have not made any particular statements about it since. My thoughts on this, folks, they have not said that they are eliminating the shows like on Encore. Yes, they're eliminating Kinky Boots because that's an expensive one. Doesn't say that they're not going to put another show on it, maybe a less expensive show, maybe with less people. How many of the people that they have let go in the entertainment department for other ships, how many of those were dead weight, not necessary, not needed, perhaps? Who knows? I understand Norwegian needs to cut costs, but they just raise prices. They just raise gratuities, and then they're cutting back on something else. The optics are not good for Norwegian on this one. They're terrible. Just saying. That's my opinion. All right. I have one other picture that's now missing, but I have to have it for the last story. So I've got to do just like I did with Katie and reload it real quick. And now it's up. Okay. This, folks, Margaritaville at Sea has partnered with Tipsy Scoop, the liquor-infused ice cream business, to add a variety of cocktail-inspired ice cream and other frozen treats to their ship's offerings. We're thrilled to partner with Tipsy Scoop and serve up this unique new signature amenity for our guests. It's a first for the cruise industry and the perfect blending of two popular brands that share a fun, refreshing approach to life, said Kevin Sheehan, president and CEO of Margaritaville at Sea. Guests know our amazing bartenders always have booze in the blender, but these new options blend the magic of Tipsy Scoop's handcrafted ice cream with the mastery of a perfectly mixed cocktail for next level fun with an island vibe. Now, maybe I've lived in a cave, but I didn't know there was booze ice cream. Tipsy Scoop. I'm glad it's on a cruise ship. Margaritaville at sea, I've said all along, I like the cruise. I like the food. I love the entertainment. The bars were terrific. Everything was good about it except their accessibility issues, and that kind of stunk. But you add the booze ice cream in there, that could be interesting. And something maybe we'll see on other cruise lines over time. But anyway, congratulations to Margaritaville at sea. That's another little feather in their cap as far as I'm concerned. All right, that's going to wrap up the news. Wasn't a huge news day. But we'll go over and see who's fussing at me today. Let me get rid of the banner so I can see things. All right, let's see who's with us. Uh-oh. I see right off the bat we've got a getting porn bombed block user. So that must mean that Jason's not here. Yo, Eddie's with us. Hope you're feeling better, Eddie. Ever just got home from cardiac therapy and feeling and beat up, hungry. So just wanted to say good morning. Good morning, Eddie. Hope you're feeling better, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you here in a couple of weeks. Hot Air Tom's with us. Mike's with us. Hi, Mike. Dennis is here. Hello, Chillie. I enjoy spicy food where I'm from. Children that are beige food eaters bring great shame upon their parents. That one's over my head, Dennis. I enjoy spicy food where I'm from. Children that are beige food eaters bring great shame upon their parents. Don't know what that means, but I enjoy spicy. Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. Nikki's here up in Jacksonville. Kevin's with us. Good morning, Kevin. Kevin and I were, by the way, I didn't announce it this morning. I had so many other things on my mind. If you, those of you that are fans of my calendar, my cruise calendar, there's a new cruise added that is added on April the 1st, as a matter of fact. I will be sailing on the Caribbean cruises, on the Caribbean Princess, on Princess Cruises. It's a 7-night cruise from Fort Lauderdale. Typical Western Caribbean goes to Cozumel, Belize City, Roatan, and Majawal, however you say that properly. And that's right in the same area as Customaya. But anyway, that's another cruise with Kevin. He's going to be on it for longer than that. I tried to book it for 14 days, but they only had accessible a cabin available from on the 1st. So okay, Dennis is saying Superba. Roll the R. Superba. Okay, I got you. A key is correct. Ignore Royal Caribbean's confusion and mispronunciation. It's an absolute disservice to the public and disrespectful to Bahamians. I know Dennis is upset about that. I always say key, and I get corrected by Royal Caribbean people all the time. Dennis says it's not too expensive. They're just trying to improve the CEO's annual bonus instead of improving bookings. Kevin says that sounds like the perfect ice cream on a Jimmy Buffett themed cruise. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Yes, indeed. So, I don't know, for an interesting little 2-day cruise. I wish they knew a little bit more about accessibility issues, because there were things that I couldn't do on the ship and places I'd get stuck with my scooter. But still, I mean, I enjoyed the cruise. The other thing, West Palm does not have scooter round. So I had to use my little scooter from home, and it's just not suitable for cruise ships. That's suitable for getting me from my car into a doctor and the long hallways in a doctor's office. And that's what it's good for, not for running back and forth on a cruise ship. Dennis says, they're awful. You don't make money by cutting costs and raising prices. That only works short term for the next quarter reporting. You make money by increasing your. Yeah, I totally agree, Dennis. Totally agree. What they did sucks. And I'm afraid this one might bite them in the butt, where several of the other things they've done hasn't. But they need to come back really quick, like on the Encore with another show. So don't leave the Encore without a show for long. Or maybe there's another one on, I don't remember. Is Encore one? I've not been on Encore. So that's one with multiple shows. So they just cut in one show. Eddie says, I got them, Chillie. Thank you, Eddie. Beige food, bland food like chicken nuggets and fries, mac and cheese. Oh, I see. Beige food is bland food. All right, I had not heard beige food before, Dennis. That was over my head. And now I know what you mean by that one. I have a limit, if it's most things spicy, I like. Like I love to, when I'm doing eggs, for instance, for breakfast, I love to add a little salsa to it, or some hot sauce. I don't mind, like a chili, for instance, with some jalapenos in it. Once in a while, I'll throw in some hot peppers on a pizza. I don't mind that. But now I'm getting into, of course, some of the Mexican food has some spice in it that's okay. Some of it can get too hot for me, too. Like if you get into the really hot stuff, like some of the habaneros and things, that gets too hot for me. But most of it I really like. And the Thai food, which I'm new to Thai food, so I don't know a whole lot about Thai food yet. I mean, it had a nice little kick to it, but it was really good. So I'd still do something spicy tonight, for sure. Jump back on Caribbean Princess on April 15th. Para DJ will be on board as well. Very nice. It's an old ship. Margaritaville at Sea is an old ship for sure. Yeah. Caribbean Princess is getting some age on it as well. Recently refurbished. But yeah. Kevin is, I'm learning a lot from Kevin and how he's going about booking his year at sea. Which he claims that he's going to be able to do this for less than $100 a day solo for the whole year. So, I mean, certainly there are some cruises that he's taken that are more than that, but he's got some that are going to be less than that. It'll be interesting to see how he balances out at the end of the year. I bet you he's close to the $100 a day mark. So that's my guess. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Again, it's been a busy morning announcing the solo cruise coming up. Yeah, Kevin just said some are $70 a day. That's going to balance, with some of them that are more. Dennis says, I enjoy Frank's hot sauce on eggs too. I've not used Frank's hot sauce. I'm the one that travels with my own condiments. That's right, including genuine maple syrup. The pancake breakfast syrup is rubbish. Toxic, high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, I understand, but some of us just go with that. Are not as careful eaters as you are, Dennis. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. I'll be back same time, same station tomorrow. I don't think there's anything special for tomorrow, at least what's coming to mind right now. That's always subject to change. I will get up information in the description of the video about the solo cruise. If any of you are interested in that, and the phone numbers to call for booking purposes, and to call if you have any questions. Like some people wanted to know, can you get it without the drinks package? I don't know. It's too early to know these kind of things. We're just getting started. We're just getting started in the U.S. This is a trial run. Admittedly, I think the deals will get even better in time, but we've got to build it. We've got to start the way they started in Europe, and now they're just getting awesome deals over there. So we got to prove the same thing. Hot Air Tom is getting ready to leave for Cape Town. Oh yeah, that reminds me, Hot Air Tom, send me a message on your suggestion again on parking in Richmond. I can't seem to find that on where you think I should park, and then I'll get an Uber over to the airport from there. Because I don't think there's handicap parking that will work for me, since I'll be solo and have to get all my crap over to the luggage place. So that would be a tough road to hold at the airport. But anyway, give me some suggestions, Hot Air. All right, that's going to wrap it up for today, guys. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas, just like Kevin and I are going to do a couple times now. And a bunch of us are going to do on the next cruise out of New Orleans coming up on the 29th. I'll get to meet a bunch of you guys down there. All right. See you guys later. Y'all have a fantastic day. See you tomorrow.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.